When you thought you knew everything about programming and then found your first job, you kind of felt this like you're the god now. But then realized you really know nothing about programming, right? When you have onboarding period, you just look at all of this file structure. You see there are hundreds of files, and I don't know about you, but for me, after I was doing only some pet projects with like less than 100 files, it was kind of difficult to navigate between thousands of files, instead of only 100. Because when you wrote all of these projects, with hundreds of files, you know every file, where to find them. And when you just navigate between all of that big file structure with over like thousands of files, you just cannot navigate by opening some folders. You need to navigate between like file namings. Also, when you're starting, you kind of feel this pressure on yourself when you spend a day for tasks that could be done in like 15 minutes in your own pet project, right? And with all of that pressure, when you see a lot of people working with this project, they know how to navigate between it, they understand the structure of this project, and they do the task really fast and you do it really slowly, and you kind of have this imposter syndrome. If you don't know what imposter syndrome is, you can basically just search it in YouTube. There are a lot of videos about that. Right, let's continue. So in that tiny period of time, 4 months, my main tasks were to implement new features, like adding some buttons, adding some entities in databases, adding some integration like Recharge or Google Analytics, code refactoring like rewriting the backend or adding some types, optimization tasks on performance, adding some lazy loadings, making smaller JSON bundles, bug fixing, fixing some functions that doesn't work properly, or just updating your existing models to newer versions. So here's the things that I learned during this small period of time. Write reusable code. So we have a function that updates some object, just imagine. And we should make this function reusable so we could use some other objects and they would work also with this function, or just to use this function in some other places, in other cases, navigate by words. So you should use some Ctrl+F combination and Ctrl+Shift+F. It depends on which IDE you're using, and you should just navigate by words. Like I just tell you, you have some projects with over like thousands of files, and you cannot just navigate between them just by searching it in folder structure. It would be really faster if you just type the name of the file or of the function or of the object, and you will receive a list of these items that you're trying to find. The list of this function with that name, like get product by ID, you will receive like 10 of this, and you could easily look at these functions and understand which one you need for some reason. So to make sense, Another thing that I understood, it's alright to spend the whole day for creating a new button. Trust me, because you have a big project, you could just break something, didn't even realize that by only creating a button. You could think you're just creating a new button, it doesn't touch any functions that already using, but somehow it's really possible to break the whole project, so be careful with that. Always test everything. So that's why it's alright to spend a day, because also you need some time to find this file in which you need to create this button. When you have a really big project, you should understand how to navigate between all of that. And if you're talking about button, button do some function when you click on it. So you also need to write some logic inside, and it really could take a day or even 2 days. It's alright. Don't bother too much. Don't touch the code which you don't need for the task. It's a golden rule for a programmer. Don't touch anything that you don't need to use, because it's already using somewhere, and when you think you could make it better, you could also make it worse. You could break something down because maybe you don't understand some logic, how is it working, maybe you miss something and you just break down this function, for example, and every place in where this function was working, it will break down and the whole project will drop down. So you don't want that to happen, when you're just starting. Do self-review before pushing anything. It's important to watch everything you wrote. Watch this commit that you just created and just search for any like code that you could write incorrectly. Just search for any code that you wrote. See the possibility that you wrote something that will not work. Maybe you broke something, maybe you miss some symbol that breaks everything, and you just cannot see that when you're just writing this code. You need to watch what you wrote in and then make a decision. Rather, you need to create a pull request, or you still need to edit that. And after that, you need to test it. Just test it. Like, if you don't have any testing in your project, just open your application which you're creating, and try to click on everything. Just make sure you didn't break anything and everything still works fine. And after you did testing, test it again. Do it as many times as it possible, because if you didn't test something, some small thing, and it's already breaking down, and the reviewers which will review your code will not see that, they will not test it, and you could possibly break the whole project. And you will have in future some tasks to fix it when someone will find this issue, and maybe in some point it could be really messed up sometimes, because if function breaks down, it's cool, but if it's not and it's working not properly, you could destroy some important data, or you could set some wrong data in your database, for example. With that you could break something not even understanding it. Try to learn new things when you have free time, and then try to implement them into your project. That's, I guess, the best opportunity when you learn something new. I mean, you're trying it by yourself, you're practicing it, like creating some pet project with these things that you're learning. After that, you just could say, oh look, I learned this thing, and I guess we could implement it in there because it would make the performance better. So why not? We could try it. I could implement it because I have some experience with that. I want to try it. Can I do that? And something like that. It's all cool. So you could easily just try it. And also, like, it's a cool experience when you learn something new and then implement it into some real projects. Don't be scared to ask for help, because when you're just starting your junior or trainee, nobody expect from you like being a senior developer. So it's right to ask for help someone. If you stuck in a task for like 5 or 6 hours, it's gonna be really messed up if you don't ask for help, because maybe you could do that easily in like 3 or 4 days. But the problem is, you could do by asking someone something. If you have a mentor, it would be really great, or team lead. Just ask for help. Write to him a message, for example, saying like, I have a problem in here, so I tried this. I don't understand how this works. I don't know what I should do here, and here. Maybe they will help you, and you will spend less than a day for that. Or even you could do the task in 30 minutes. Know how and when to relax. It's really important, because when you're just starting in IT, you have this feeling like, like I told you in the beginning, like you're the god, you want to work all the time, spending like 12, 14 hours a day for just working, because you think it's kind of cool. You learn a lot of stuff during the small period of time, and you just want to do it more and more. And if you do it for like a few months, you could easily burn out and then just leave IT industry, your current job, because it's boring for you. You just want to chill all the time. So you need to find this place when you need to start relaxing. I don't know, just procrastinating. Just watching something, some movie, or I don't know, going somewhere with your friends, or playing some computer games, whatever. Just chill from programming for a while. Just don't work for like 14 hours a day, because when I just started, like for a few months when I began, I was working 8 hours a day, and after that also doing some pet projects, learning some new stuff for the next 4 hours, 5 hours. But I found how to relax, because I was getting the breaks every hour for like 5 or 10 minutes. I was chilling, so I was relaxing and also working, so it was really cool for me. And you should find something for yourself, because you cannot just work for 14 hours every day, like the whole life. It's not possible. Ask some team leads, tech leads, or senior developers. They will tell you that they want to chill, they don't want to work like 14, 16 hours a day because it's kind of sucks, yeah. Because they have a lot of experience, they worked with that for a really long time and they want just to chill. So it's alright. And another thing that I thought I will never tell anyone, but you need to read the documentation. Yeah, it's kinda sucks, I know. I hate reading documentation. I also just hate reading. Yeah, but sometimes you cannot find something by only reading some blogs, watching some videos on the YouTube, yeah. Sometimes you need to write the documentation, and in most cases you don't need like even 5% of that information from the whole documentation, but you need to read the whole documentation because you could miss something. When I need to implement some plugins, for example, yeah, and I just cannot find anything about them on the YouTube or some Stack Overflow Medium platform, I just need to write documentation about that, and I don't know, I just hate it. I won't lie to you. And that's it for this video, guys. I hope it was really helpful for you. Make sure to watch my previous and next video if you like this content that I'm trying to do, and see you in the next videos. It's kind of hot in here, right?